What is up, Jose, and everybody watching? I'm Call, and guys, it's talking ball. Jose, first of all, how the heck are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Middle of the week over and done with. Um,
Boom.
yeah, can't mustn't grumble, can't complain. We're still alive. Here we are.
Mustn't grumble. That's a new one I haven't ever used before. Can't mustn't grumble. I'm gonna have to use that a lot more. But no, it's very very good to have you sharing the screen with me as always. And to everybody out there, thank you for tuning in. Whether it's live, recorded, any other way you can figure out how to watch it too. I mean, thanks. We truly appreciate you guys. Whether you're watching too from El Tel Cockerel or here talking ball, we just appreciate you being here with us. It's truly it's nice to have you guys, and welcome one and all to talking ball. Jose, you don't have a whole lot of time today, and you know what? Neither do I. Let's kind of get right into the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to talk about today.
So can we just add that? Yeah, we'll be collabing the streams together from two different destinations. So what I'd ask you all to do is, if you're on the Altel Cockerel stream, then please come and subscribe to Talk and Ball. And if you're on the
In
Talk and
reverse.
Ball stream, can you then go and subscribe to Altel Cockerel? And what
Boom.
we'll do is we'll put both the links up so you can see and just subscribe to both channels. And hopefully, with having two different laptops open, sorry, I'm looking on two different laptops at the moment, we'll capture everybody's comments regardless of what channel you're on.
Perfect. I think that's a perfect idea, Jose, and everybody out there. I hope you agree. Whichever channel you're viewing from, please hop on over to the other one and slap a like, slap a subscribe on there. It helps everybody out. We've got Julie Sievers in the chat. She's a known troublemaker, so we don't have Totspurs here to moderate, but we got to watch out for her. Saying dive on in, lads. Yeah, absolutely. No, we're about to. Don't worry. Jose, one thing I wanted to ask you about too before we get into the heavy stuff. Did you see Madison and his little like tiff with his little tiff with, it looked like it was with John Terry?
When on what, on Twitter and that?
Yeah, on Twitter, and it wasn't any.
To be honest, I don't really go on Twitter and all that stuff, so I wouldn't know. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't do it.
Hold on,
I don't go on Twitter.
I can find it here. Well, it wasn't anything big, but they just went back and forth a bit. John Terry made some comments about us losing, and Madison got baited in and said, "Didn't you see the first? Were you blind during the first 15 minutes when it was 11 versus 11?" And then John Terry just said, "You'll get used to it," and then a blue heart, and then Madison then went on and then got into an argument with some gambling company. He was on one yesterday. But I like that he cares enough about Spurs to get into these arguments. You know what I mean? I feel like this is the guy, if everyone remembers, who like called Bale a monkey and said other mean shit about Spurs on Twitter in the past. And now he's going out of his way to get into fights and to defend us. I like it. I like it a lot. Audio Artisan is in the house, along with Adrian Stroka. Adrian Stroka was the first one in the house. Sorry, Adrian. I did not mean to skip over your comment, sir. But Adrian says, good morning, all. Good morning right back to you, my guy. And then we've got Audio Artisan. Afternoon, chaps. Good afternoon, Audio Artisan. Hope you're doing very well, my friend. Hope you're doing very well indeed. It is very nice to have you here, as always. Yeah, very, very nice to have you. But Mom's saying it was just banter between Madison, between John Terry. And yeah, I agree. I was talking to Mom before the show, actually, just about how much John Terry sucks. Please tell me that everyone over on your side of the pond hates him as much as we do over here. Jose.
What?
John Terry.
John Terry.
Yeah. Is he universally hated because he's just a bad person?
I don't know about it. He's not done things correctly in his life, which then means that he gets stick.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think he's like cheated on his wife like 10 times or something, and but I guess
it's that and wanting to be part of this, that, and the other. I mean, there's always memes put out there whenever anything's ever given out, any prizes, any awards, or anything like that. The people put the picture of John Terry picking up the award. So he does get stick for it, to be honest. He does get stick.
But at least I guess he's still better than Jamie Carragher in that he has never spit in a little girl's face, so far as I know. So he does beat Carragher out just barely with that. Mom, subscribe to your channel, Jose. You've got another subscriber over there. Shame on you, Ma, for not having done that before. But no. All good. We forgive you. Well, I think. Jose, do you forgive her for not having subscribed?
Yeah, of course I do. The lovely Julie.
You're forgiven. You're forgiven, Mom. All good.
The lovely Julie. She's part of the family. She's part of all this.
I told her
this is all Julie's as well. So
yeah, exact. Wow. Yeah, I told her that she's part of at least a weekly show now, and she's agreed. So we're good. Yeah. And again, welcome everybody to Talking Ball. We truly appreciate you being here. Truly. And although I said, and I will continue to say, no doom and gloom here. That's not what we're about. We're not doomers. We're not the sky is falling type of people. Injury crisis. Is it safe? Is it safe to call it that?
Yeah.
And it all happened in one match. You know, not only like the loss didn't hurt bad enough, but we had to lose many key players. And yeah, I don't know. Do you think that image I had? Do you think that's worth pulling up, or should we just use it as a reference?
I think we can use it as a reference, to be honest.
So here's something I found online today, guys. Somebody was kind of compiling together Pochettino. Wow, Postecoglou's options. I saw a picture of Pochettino up on my list here, but Postecoglou's options for the match against Wolves. And let me get the banner off of there so we can take a look at that. But here is who Postecoglou has available for the match.
So we were looking, and according to the availability to this list, we believe that Hill's not injured, and quite possibly Maddison may not be injured. So therefore, when you've got the keepers, defenders, centrals, and forwards, if we're counting up, you've got 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8, 13. So that's 18 on the list at the top from keepers, defenders, central, forward. And if you add Hill and Maddison to that, that takes you to 20. But drop out a keeper, we believe there's 19 spots because Maddison's still being assessed. So we believe there's 19 spots. And if there's 19 spots, I think instead of going in with 3 goalkeepers, it offers up a spot for somebody else from the under 21s. The big clue last night, for people that are unaware, but Tottenham played in a cup game with the under 21s against, I think it's Cambridge United or someone like that last night, or Peterborough, Cambridge, and they got beaten 4-1. But in the lineup last night, there was no Ashley Phillips and no Alejo Veliz. And with the comments that came out yesterday about Richarlison, that makes sense that Veliz would come in to replace Richarlison in the squad. And also without all the defenders, we've got Phillips and would obviously come into contention into the squad. Jamie Donnelly, we've included Jamie Donnelly as a player that could be called up, although Jamie Donnelly did play yesterday. But pre the show, I was speaking to Colin, and I was saying to Colin that my thoughts are that maybe you have to call up another defender from the under 21s, because where we're light is in defence. We've got lots of central players. Because looking at this list, you've got, if you take Højbjerg out of the defenders list for the time being and put him in a central list, and then you add Maddison to the central list, because for all intents and purposes, he's not been ruled out yet. And then in the forward list, you add Hill to that list, then it leaves us with 4 defenders. It leaves us 4 defenders. It leaves us with Porro, Dyer, Emerson, and Ashley Phillips. And that's bearing in mind we think Ben Davies is out injured. So therefore, I was speaking to Conor before the show, and I was thinking to myself, you've got no fullback cover there at all. Now, do we pull Charlie Sayers up from the under-21s and give him a place on the bench? And because centre halves are quite light as well, does Jamie Dorrington come into it? Both of them played last night. Tottenham under-21s were beaten 4-1, but they were playing against a proper league team yesterday. And I looked at the lineup, and to me, the lineup, unless someone could tell me differently, the lineup looked the strongest that we could put out without Phillips and Veliz, because we played Will Lancashire played up front, I think, last night. And Charlie Sayers actually played centre-back, was pulled in to play centre-back alongside Dorrington because Phillips was out. But Judson, Bell, Niall John, all the other usual suspects, and Jamie Donnelly, all the usual suspects played last night, apart from Veliz and Ashley Phillips.
Yep. So I think you're 100% right. I think we're absolutely going to see them feature. And how could they not? Like you were saying, we literally have no choice. Is part of you, be honest, Jose, is part of you a little excited that you're probably going to see your boy Veliz get a little more of a chance?
I don't know if he's going to get more of a chance, Colin, because Son's going to be the number 9.
Right. Always.
So unless we change things and we're going down a different route, then for me, Sonny's going to be the number 9. Sonny's going to be right down the middle. So that means Veliz comes in as understudy to Son. So if Son needs a break with the last 10 or last 15, last 20, whatever, because he didn't get a break at the weekend, but every other game he's been bought off.
Yeah.
But he wasn't bought off last weekend. So if he's bought off this weekend, then it probably gives Veliz a chance. The one thing I don't want from this weekend is more injuries.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need. I don't know. I honestly don't know what we would do, how we would cope. And it's funny that that's what everybody was saying, would be the one thing that would really derail us this season is injuries. And bam, bam, bam. It's like we get hit with them all at once.
We just got a comment coming from Jacob. And it says, big up YouTube is bugging out for the UK folk right now.
Aha. That makes sense. We are missing some of our UK folk. Interesting. I wonder what's going on with YouTube over there. Jose, did you break it?
No, not me, mate. Not me. Not me at all. Not me at all.
I don't know if I buy it. I don't know where you were about an hour ago, but we'll visit that later. We'll interrogate. But Audio Artisan had a question. I had started for later, but it fits in with what we're talking about. So I thought, shoot, let's hit it right now. But he said, given the current climate, given the current situation Spurs find themselves in, Højbjerg to center back. And clearly the person who made that image that we pulled up a second ago, and I'll bring it back up for just a second, was thinking that there's a little asterisk next to his name too. So I assume that they're not sure, obviously, who could be. But yeah, I mean, I think it's an option. I think that he's got speed and mobility that I think that Postecoglou demands from his center backs, more so than Dyer, I would think. But Jose, do you think that there's a chance that we see Pierre at center back?
So the natural person to play at centre back, right? Providing that Davies is injured, because we're all saying that Davies is injured. If Davies is injured, Emerson goes to left back, unless they bring Charlie Sayers in from the under-21s, right? So let's go with the former. Let's say that Emerson goes to left back because Davies is injured. Then You're looking at the centre back position because it looks like Dyer's going to start. Now, if Dyer's going to start, it's who partners Dyer. Now, the most natural centre half that we have is Ashley Phillips.
Yeah.
He's more natural than Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. However, Højbjerg did well. But can I see that being a partnership for the beginning of the game and hypothetically for 90 minutes? I'm not too sure. But
would you want to? Yeah. Would you want to see that?
Well, but the thing is, at the end of the day, I would look at it and say, we're not on the pitch. Again, I always refer to this. We're not on the training pitch. So we don't know what's happening at Hotspur Way. And it depends. Ange knows his players. Ange works with these guys day in, day out. So Ange is going to have a better feeling around the place of what he wants to do going forward. But yeah, it's interesting. All the artists, I just made a comment because Charlie Sayers last night played at centre half because Phillips was left out of the squad completely. So was and Veliz. So yeah, he played centre half yesterday, but he has been playing left back with Dorrington and Phillips filling the centre half roles. So yeah, to me, if we're light as we think we are, then there could be a couple of spots. If put it this way, if Ben Davies is definitely out injured, right, and we don't want to have 3 goalkeepers on the bench, right? Sorry, we don't want to have 2 goalkeepers on the bench. Then there's room for at least 1 player, possibly 2. And I've got a feeling that one of them players is going to be Donnelly. But
yeah, with how much we've heard his name lately, I think that's almost a given.
But the other player, well, it could be Donnelly, but you've got to remember. See, I'm saying Donnelly, but then I'm trying to think to myself that where we've got the most cover is in midfield and up front. Yeah. Donnelly plays either of them 2 positions, and where we're lacking in depth at the moment with the injuries and suspensions is defence. So, going back to what we were saying, if you're looking at the defence and you've got Emerson, Phillips, Dyer, Porro, let's say you got them as your 4, and Ben Davies is definitely injured. If that's the case, then where we're light is in defence. So if we've only got them 4, and I'm not including Højbjerg as defender at the moment, right? So I'm including Phillips in the 4. Then that means squad-wise, we need defenders, and the defenders could be Charlie Sayers and Dorrington coming in onto the bench to bulk up the defensive options off the bench, so to speak. Which would then mean, so from the count that you've got there, it would mean 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 6, 7 defenders. So you've got 7 defenders, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It will still leave. It depends. It really is. It's a conundrum for me because do you fit 2 more players on the bench? If you're not going to play Højbjerg as a starting centre half, right, and you're going to play Phillips there, then for me you've got to bring in Sayers and Dorrington onto the bench.
Right.
If you're starting with Højbjerg in defence, then Ashley Phillips and another coming onto the bench. If you want to fit Jamie Donnelly in.
And you think they do, or I think that they do.
Well, looking at it, if you bring that graphic back up, Colin, the one that you had a minute ago, because I can see it on here because I'm on a delay, but I can't see it on the main screen. Right. So think about this again. Right. So you've got, if we're only going to have 2 goalkeepers, you've got Vicario and Forster. Yeah?
Yep.
Agreed? That's 2. Right? The defenders you've currently got on there is 5. Although Ashley Phillips is greyed out, that's 5, yeah?
Yep.
So that takes you to 7. Central players, there's another 5 there, yeah?
Yep.
So that takes you to 12. Forwards, there's another 5, yeah?
Yep.
Jamie Donnelly's greyed out, so there's another 5. So that takes you to 17. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Add in Brian Hill, who we don't believe is injured, and add in Madison for the time being. That takes you to 19 players. And that's including Jamie Donnelly, yeah? He's in the team. He's already there. But where we're light is in defence. So therefore, I'm thinking of Dorrington and Sayers. But that would take us to 21. But we can only have 9 subs. So do you forego one of the players there for an extra defender to come on the subs bench?
I think you have to, yeah.
Okay, so if you were to do that, then the person that's likely to miss out would be Jamie Donnelly.
Yeah, as he hasn't featured and hasn't done.
Is what I'm looking at. But there again, I mean, looking at this again, if your forward line is, let's say for argument's sake, your forward line is Brennan, Sonny, Kulu.
Okay.
Then that's 3 forwards. So does that, if we've only got Alejo Veliz, And there's not that much cover, is there?
No, you're right. You're right.
So there is conundrums there. We seem to be lopsided in the middle, because in the middle you're going to add Madison. Oh no, sorry. With the forward line, you've got Alejo Veliz and you've got Hill. So you've got 2 permutations there. We haven't got the usual 3. We've only got 2. And in central midfield, if you add Madison to that list, and Højbjerg can go in between defenders or central, the place that we're light on is defence, which goes without saying because we've got suspensions and injuries to that defence.
Yeah, and
it's a difficult one. It's one of them ones that he's going to have to sort out at Ange. And it's
I think that we are kind of lucky in that I think that if Madison is fit, Madison could technically occupy one of those forward roles. He could play Kulu's position, don't you think? So I mean, like, that's just an extra option for up front.
Yeah,
but I mean, again,
but it's difficult. It really is difficult. We're at a time where the thing is, I'm going to say as well, and it sounds weird, but I'm going to say we're quite lucky, if I'm going to say that, in the sense that after Wolves, we've got a 2-week break for the internationals.
Yeah, no kidding.
So exactly. some of the players, like your Ben Davis, I can't see yours on that list.
Oh, it's because I got that comment on the way.
Yeah. Right. So you'd like to say that after the international break, out of them players, the only player you're going to get back
might be Ben Davis.
It's Ben Davis.
How bad? So what happened to Solomon again? I already forget what exactly.
Sorry, Ben Davis could be back, right? But then Udogie will be back as well, because Udogie's got a 1-match ban against Wolves, isn't he? So Udogie will be back, providing he doesn't get injured on international duty. Then you've got Udogie back as well. With the rest of them, Perisic has got an ACL, so he's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Manor Solomon has got an injury to do with his thighs or something like that, something to do in the leg area, but I think it's the upper leg area. And Solomon's not back till the new year, is what I thought was his outlay. Mickey van der Ven, nobody knows yet, because he's either going to be seen tonight or tomorrow. But if it's a grade 3 tear, probably won't see him until February.
Yeah.
If it's a grade 3. But then I heard today someone say that with Pedro Neto from Wolves, because he pulled up with what people thought was a really severe hammy, because he pulled up the same way that Van der Ven did when he was running. But although he was running through on goal when he did that. But apparently, by all intents and purposes, when they've done his assessment after it all calmed down, the region it was less inflamed and all calmed down, they've done an assessment on him, and he's had a scan and that, and it ain't a grade 3 tear. He's actually got like a thing. I think there's some people saying that he's only going to be out a month.
Wow, so, man, God, if we were to get that lucky, I don't know if we will, but if we were to.
If someone said to me that he's only going to be out for a month, I'll take it. However, I also remember me yesterday talking on the show about Mickey van der Ven, and I was referring to
the recurring
and Michael Owen and stuff like that. Someone, do you know what? I don't know whether we do it before other people, but someone then went and talked about Michael Owen on their channel today. We are Tottenham TV.
You're welcome, Tottenham. Yeah, you're welcome.
They were then talking about hamstring injuries, and they referenced Michael Owen, and I referenced Michael Owen yesterday, and I said,
you sure as hell did.
Sessegnon and Owen. Do you know what I mean? As 2 prime people, you know, and okay, sports science has become better, but hammies are hammies, man.
Right. It's not going to change the nature of the way that the ligament works. Your ligaments and your muscles and everything. It's not gonna change the way that your muscle and the surrounding ligaments work. Yeah, I agree. We'll see. But minimum a month, I would say, absolute minimum. Like, I think best possible news we could get out a month. I don't think there's, you know what I mean? Do you see a world, any universe where it's less time than that, where he, you know what I mean? Just
yeah, Adrian's just kind of medical science has moved on since Michael Owen. Yeah, it has. I know it has. But like I said, the problem that we've got is the recurring. The recurring is the problem we've got.
Mom pointing it out here.
And with the recurring, it's not going to help us out because
we'll rush him back. Undoubtedly, undoubtedly, we'll rush him back.
I don't think we should be rushing him back.
I don't think so either. But I think we will.
Take your medicine. There's a bigger plan in place, and the bigger plan is what are we going to do beyond this season and further. And therefore, if we're looking at the bigger picture, don't rush him back.
I agree.
We need players to fight the war for the next few years, not just a battle of one weekend. So
very true. Got to see the bigger picture, which sometimes is hard to do. I'll be the first one to tell you. We got Rich in the house, so I just wanted to say hey to Rich. What's up, Rich? Hope you are doing well, my friend. Hope everything is going good wherever you are in your part of the world. But Rich says big up. I'm going to guess you're in the UK. Silver lining, perhaps the drop-off in quality that we're about to see could align perfectly as we approach the January window. Maybe Levy will feel more compelled to provide defensive support. When have we said this in the past? No, I'm just kidding. But we have. But maybe Levy really does believe in Ange. Maybe he sees these results that Ange has gotten so far and says, you know what, maybe I do put, 50, 60 mil in the coffers and let you have some fun this January. I'd be interested. I'm very interested to know what's going to happen in January. If I had a crystal ball, I'd use it. Some people might say, oh, I want it to be a surprise. I want to know right now. I don't know. What do you think that Rich has got a point here that maybe this will make Levy realize that he has no choice but to spend it?
I'll answer Rich's one in a second. Can I just go to Adrian? Adrian, yeah, we've covered this. Phillips was left out, and with the information that was leaked yesterday or that came out yesterday about Richarlison going under the knife to have an op on a complaint or an issue that he's had for the last 8 months. Veliz also didn't play last night. He wasn't at all in the squad last night for the under-21s either.
Yeah.
And then, again, Adrian's comment said, I see Phillips partnering Dyer, not Højbjerg, as has been suggested elsewhere. Phillips is a unit and fast baller, so will play as the last defender as Dyer is slow. And what I said earlier, Adrian, I don't know whether you missed it, but I actually discussed this earlier. And I said that if you're looking for speed, right, to play the high line and you're looking for actual speed, although he's not a natural defender, Højbjerg is quicker than Dyer. So would Ange consider playing Phillips and Højbjerg there? Don't know. It's another,
That would be an absolute crazy roll of the dice. You know what I mean? Like that would he would be, but you got to do what you got to do. There's times in the season where
I'll go on to I said earlier, Colin. We don't know what happens at Tottenham Hotspur Way, what happens in training, what Ange can see, and what Ange's thoughts are. Going back to Rich's comments, Rich, I think that watching other channels today, and that it appears to be that people are saying that, yeah, we will dip into the market in January to get a defender. A lot of people have been quite on point and saying a left-sided central defender, not just getting a central defender, but he will be left-sided wherever we go and get. What I will say in answering your question is if I was looking from the out to in, and I'm looking from board level in, with all the problems that Tottenham have had, and with all the campaigners and all the people finding the board negative and striking and stuff like that, with what's happened this season and what Ange has done, Ange has united, and I've said this many times before, Ange has united the fan base, Ange has united the team, Ange has united everyone in the back rooms at Tottenham, i.e. from the cleaner to the tea lady to the chefs to the people that work in the call centres. He's united absolutely everyone at the club, and he's also deflected a lot of shit away from the board, because you're not hearing people complaining about the board at the moment for the first 11 games of the season. That seems to be dropped off a cliff. So therefore, and he's also a media dream, isn't he? I mean, people love interviewing him, and the club must love having him front the club up in interviews as well, because he's not one of these that's going to put you in danger or in peril every time he speaks. So therefore,
very true.
I think the club must be looking at, and Levy must be looking and saying to himself, do you know what? we've actually got a gem on our hands. And what we need to do is we need to trust in this man. We've given him a 4-year contract. We need to trust in the team that we've got with him and around him. And that means we're going to have to make footballing decisions. And footballing decisions dictate that we need to get this squad stronger. And so, therefore, I would like to think that Levy will be dipping into the coffers, providing we have players identified that we can go for. Yeah. And that is the work that Langer, Paratici, McKenzie, and Ange will probably be doing. They would have had a list before the injuries, but now that the injuries have come about, they're going to have to do a bit more rolling the dice a lot quicker to try and bring someone in January. But that's my answer. My answer is I think Levy would be a fool when everything's being deflected away from him and everything seems to be swimming and going well at the club. He needs to start bagging him sooner rather than later. And I expect it to happen in January.
Yeah, you know that Paratici's been whipping some stuff up for a while now. I think that he's definitely been on it. I think that as soon as, like I think you were even saying that during the match against Chelsea, he was seen on the phone. He was probably trying to get deals started as soon as he saw, that Van de Ven injury. I was going to ask, do you think that this helps us or gets us to maybe revisit, what's the chap's name from Fulham that we were looking at?
Adebayo, you've got Lloyd Kelly. Adebayo's right-footed. Lloyd Kelly's left-footed.
Oh, okay.
They're both going to be out of contract at the end of next season. At the end of this season.
Oh,
so
wow.
Therefore, you could get them on the cheap. I watched some stuff today, and people were talking about that we're interested in Guehi. Guehi's going to cost you north of 50 million quid for one player. Guehi's a starter. If you're going to buy Guehi, he's going to start the team. He's going to be a starter, not a sub warmer, a bench warmer.
Right. Whereas the other two,
where I reckon the other two would they come as bench warmers, i.e., in the sense that they may not get much game time, but next season, if we're qualifying for Europe, we're going to need a stronger squad. So there's a lot of variables, if buts, maybes, but they're there to sort it out. So, sorry, can I just go back to just the people that missed the show running on 2 different streams. So we're running it on my Eltel Cockerel channel. So what we'd like is if people could subscribe to both channels and hit the like in both channels, it will help us immensely. So yeah, go to Eltel Cockerel if you're watching on here on Talk and Ball, and vice versa. If you're watching on Eltel Cockerel, as we got some people yesterday, then come and subscribe to me and Colin here at Talk and Ball because it helps us. Yeah. So if we can do that, then that'd be great. So Rich is saying that he agreed with what I've just said.
Rich is a good guy. He's a good guy for sure.
Adrian's come in with one door closes and another door opens. I should be pleased if Phillips gets game time. Bentancur will play if Matt's ankle injury keeps him out. Kulu could even play as a number 10.
Adrian, you said whenever I was clamoring for Phillips, you said that we needed to buy somebody better, but no, I'm just giving you a hard time. You can still be excited to see somebody, but think we need somebody better. But yeah, I've been on the Phillips train for a while. I don't think that we pushed so hard for him just to, have him around, not playing. So yeah, I think we'll be happy with what we see when we do see it.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, as I said, or as we've been saying, the squad is thin with 8 players. I think that we've got 8 players out. So the squad is thinned down. However, regardless that the squad is thinned down, Adrian said the one phrase that I always use is one door closes and another door opens. And I'm a firm believer of that. Where one door closes, another door opens. And I say this, Colin, how do people get chances at other clubs?
Yeah, you got to wait for one to open up. You got to wait for somebody to get injured or suspended, and then you get your chance, and then you take it.
And then if you take it, you see more games. That's it. You get more games if you take it, or you get seen by people. If it's a case of trying to sell people on, which is not one, I'm not suggesting it here. But by giving someone an opportunity, you either get an opportunity to claim and stake a place, or you get the opportunity if you're looking to move on and go elsewhere. You get an opportunity, don't you? So where one door closes, another one opens, and I'm sure that this is going to be the case because at the end of the day, whether whether some of these boys from the under-21 start or are on the bench, they will get game time because Postecoglou makes 5 changes in a game.
Yeah, he does.
So, and he needs to with the high pressing that we do and the way that we play that game. You need all 16. Sorry, you need all 16 players to commit, and therefore it's important that any of these players will also get a chance.
And I think that, you know, like you said, we don't see what's happening in training. I think that he's an idiot if he doesn't have a lot of players practicing other roles. You know, in training, he'll probably have, you know what I mean, midfielders doing some of the same drills as the forwards and vice versa. You know what I mean? I think that everyone will be kind of versed in the Postecoglou way. And, you know, we've had, you know, football training, you do all kinds of drills, even if they're not the ones specifically aimed at, you know what I mean, your position. And like you said, who knows what he could have seen? Who knows who could have been performing well other places? I bet. I mean, was Ashley Phillips on the bench against Chelsea
last week? No.
Oh, okay.
No, he wasn't.
Gotcha.
No, Phillips and Veliz weren't on the bench at all
because we had Bentancur coming back, because we had
so they went on the bench, but from the starting 11 we've lost 3 players straight away. We've lost 3 players
without a doubt. I just wondered why. I just wondered if perhaps that was why we saw Højbjerg come in, was because maybe he had been doing well in training. But if he was our only real option to put back there, it was a necessity instead of by design, I think, with that. So I was just thinking maybe, you know, maybe he'd seen something in training. But Don Danboy is here. Dan,
you're right,
what
mate.
is up, my guy? Hope you're good. Thanks for joining us. It's always good to have you. Real quick. Well, first, Adrian says Team America center back Mexican Sebastian Cáceres is of interest to Spurs. The agent and the player are keen for him to come. Rumored agreement close with his club. Weird, because that's the second Mexican player that we've been tied to today, because there was a rumor I was going to talk about a little bit. Santiago Jimenez
but he's not Mexican, Santiago Jimenez. He's Argentinian. I'm sure he is.
Are you positive?
Tell you what,
I got to get that off there then, so I don't look dumb for any longer.
I reckon Santiago Jimenez is Argentinian. I reckon. I might be wrong, but I reckon he's Argentinian.
Oops. Well, then we'll pretend that never happened.
Is he or not? Are you? You're not checking.
He is. He represents Mexico, the Mexican national team.
Is he?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
I was like, come on, please don't be wrong, Colin. Not in front of all these people.
Cole. Well done.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. But no. So that's the second Mexican player that we've been tied to, and Santiago Jimenez looks the business. He's rumored to cost us like upwards to 40, 45, 50 mil. But that's euro, not pound. Not pound sterling. Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about him. I think he scored 12 goals last season.
He represents Mexico. He was born in Buenos Aires, in Argentina.
He must have a Mexican parent and knew that it'd be easier to get into the team. That's my best guess. Or, you know, Mexican grandparents, or I don't know how.
His grandparent was Francisco Jimenez. I don't know what that means.
His parents are somewhere.
Christian Jimenez and Maria Bernarda Jimenez are his parents, and he's got a sibling called Agustina Jimenez.
Well, now we know all of them. Now we know the whole family.
And he was born on the 18th of April 2001, which makes him 22 years old.
Well, he even, there's some quotes from himself about this, but he himself said it is important not to take into account claims that have not been made by them or me, meaning himself or Spurs. He also added, though, that he is grateful for the understanding and support that everyone has shown him. Oh, well, that does not have anything to do with Spurs. He just joined Feyenoord this year. So coming from Cruz Azul in Mexico last year. So I don't know. I mean, does that justify the price tag? I mean, for someone that just came from Liga MX to the Dutch league, I have a hard time saying the name of that league.
Sebastian Cáceres is playing for Team America, or it's not Team America, Club America in Mexico. Exactly. Is Club America in Mexico? Yeah.
Yep.
In Club America, Mexico. However, he's Uruguayan.
Okay.
And we've also got Benny. Benny's Uruguayan.
Yeah, that's true. Get Agent Benny on the phone. Get it going, Benny. Get it going. Do it for us. I was gonna get to you, Dan. I promise. So here's Dan Boy's next comment. He really does not want to see Dyer on the pitch, and I think there's a lot of people that are going to be in agreement with you. I don't know if I'm one of them. I don't really. I mean, I'd rather not. Let's put it. But I mean, I did like the bits I saw of him getting cooked over and over against City, but it's just because City knew exactly what to do, exactly how to exploit that. I don't know. I think he looks better than he did last season. How Jose, what do you think? I mean, are you adverse? I mean, everyone should be somewhat adverse to seeing him play again, but is it as bad as the people are making it out to be? I don't think so.
What, Dyer?
Yeah, and having to maybe see Dyer on the pitch a bit, and is it?
Look, do you know what? Right, Dyer. We know that he's not the fit for this system, right?
Yeah,
he's not the fit for the system. Dyer probably fits playing a back three where he's the centre of the back three, where he can dictate, talk, shout, wave his arms around, do all that shit that he does without putting any fucking tackles in. Excuse my French, right? Without putting any tackles in.
I can be Eric Dyer. I just got to go like this.
But we need Dyer now, or we need players now. We are short. We need players now to help us out.
We're and he looks so hungry. You know.
Well, then he should have eaten his dinner, then, shouldn't he?
No, man. Yeah, I guess you're right. That shot, though. I mean, he got a nice connection. He hit it perfectly. He didn't smash it. He didn't. You know what I mean? Like I will give him props for taking that volley well. A lot of people would have, you know what I mean? The occasion would have got to him and they would have blasted it over, or you know what I mean? He put it on target and got it past the keeper. I mean, that's impressive in and of itself to me, really, when you think about it, just because it's Dyer. But yeah. And you know, VAR is VAR is VAR, and that one did look offside, but still, he was so close. I miss the days of old. Do you miss the days of old when the benefit was given to the striker? Striker got benefit of the doubt. That's just how it was for everybody. So it was even. You know what I mean? Like it's even across all teams. I mean, it was. I miss those days. I don't really. I think VAR is. It's changed. It's changed things. I feel like an old man on his porch with a rocking chair, you know, but you know, back in my day, there was no VAR. But hey,
but what I will say, and I asked the question yesterday, so for Dan Boy, because I know Dan's already put a further comment down. I think so for me, Dan, right, and your further comment. So if you just go down, Rich has got a comment there saying Dyer won't cost us as much as Vicario clearing up.
Yeah.
And Dan directly underneath is coming with a comment saying the reason is if he performs some good games here and there, Fear might be getting another new contract. I really can't with him. He needs to leave in January. No hate, good human beings, but we need to be better. Dan, I have no reason to believe whatsoever that whatever he does between now and January, or between January and next year, I don't see us offering him another contract. I don't believe that we'll offer him another contract. Yeah.
I hope you're right. Yeah. I think you're right. I don't think Ange wants him. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think we're ready to kind of let Ange have some control. And if Ange wants him out, then bye, Felicia, you know?
Yeah. I don't think for one way, I'm not in the camp for any way whatsoever that he's going to get another contract. What we do need is we need everybody we need everyone to get together, because we've got gaps in the squad at the moment because of the injuries and because of the suspensions. And he's just filling in at the moment, or he will get some sort of game time, whether it starts or it be off the bench. He's going to get some game time for now. Just got to remember that Romero will be back after 3 games. A doggy plays after 1 game, and it could well be that he then mixes about Emerson, and Emerson might go to centre half. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, down to Ange. But the one thing I can say, Dan, is my belief is there is no way we are going to offer this man another contract. He doesn't fit the system. He's there at the moment, but he doesn't fit the system. So, yeah, please be allayed. Please be allayed. So, just saying hello. We've got
some newbies in here.
Yeah, we've got What's the Point FC.
Big
nice
up to you,
mate. Nice to see you, mate. He's currently on the LTEL Cockrell channel.
Well, hey,
what we will say. So, can I say to What's the Point FC? At the moment, we're doing a collab, so we're running 2 channels at the same time. So, if what we'd like people to hit the likes and subscribe to both channels. So, if you are in LTEL Cockrell, can you come and subscribe to Talk and Ball with Colin, which is the channel where people can find me more now. And alternatively, anyone that we've got here, can you please go over to LTEL Cockrell and subscribe and hit a like over there as well on both shows, so we can get likes and we can get people from both shows.
Build a big old family. Yeah,
that's the Talk and Ball link, and that's the LTEL Cockrell link. So yeah, if you could do that. So it says, hey guys, it's LTEL Cockrell. Okay. He says, we can only bring in players that are hungry and willing to fight for the first team place. He's then saying that Van der Ven's injury might not be as bad as first feared, and Phillips has to be blooded. He's 6'4" lumps. So throw him in the mixer and let him make the mistakes. We have nothing to lose.
And with wow, God, I'm off it today. But with Vicario sweeping up, what better time to have him playing in there? I think he couldn't have a better keeper behind him for getting in. Boris Britt
is agreeing. Hi, Boris. He's saying, I don't think Dyer will get a new contract. If he did well, at most, it could be a staff contract, since Ange wants speed. Yeah. Adrian's concurring, saying that, he's too slow. Wayne Bonner.
Patreon member.
If Dyer gets a new contract, then I'm winning the lottery, and that ain't happening, especially because I keep forgetting to do it. Right.
Go out and buy a ticket, mate.
And then Dan Boy is saying okay to me. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think people, the fans, the supporters, we've all been watching this season. We've seen Dyer not getting time on the bench, not being picked on the bench and stuff like that. We've seen the way that Ange's style of the play is. We've seen the way that Ange wants to play. And quite honestly, Dyer doesn't fit this. Although I will say, Dyer made a tackle on Saturday. Oh, sorry.
That last minute, that last minute or last second, tackle on the box.
Dyer made a tackle, and I asked a question on yesterday's show, and I'll ask the question here because we've got some people that weren't on yesterday's show. Can anyone else tell me the last time that Dyer put a tackle in? Before Monday's last-minute tackle against Chelsea. When was the last time he made a tackle? Which then goes to show you how he definitely doesn't fit the Postecoglou system, because it needs your players to win the ball. When they win the ball, you've got to make tackles. So, yeah.
Not just do this. I know I always do my impression of him, but you got to look mean and you got to have your arms behind your back. Oh, Daniel E.
Good afternoon, Dan. He's coming. Heard rumours that Spurs fear Van der Ven may have worse than a grade 2 tear and may need an op.
Fuck, we're getting all kinds of conflicting information here, but it's good. I'm glad to get all of it. You know what I mean? As time goes on, we'll get more info.
Well, I said yesterday that the people with a naked eye all thought that he probably had a grade 3. He could have a grade 3 tear from the naked eye watching how he pulled up. But I said earlier in the show that people thought this about Neto as well when he pulled up. People thought he might have had a grade 3 tear. It since transpires that Neto's is not as bad as first thought. And once they scan Neto's only going to be out for 4 weeks. So I, along with the rest of the fan base, I'm hoping that when they do the scan on Mickey Van der Ven, I'm hoping for Mickey van der Ven's sake, for the club's sake, and for all the supporters, that it's not as bad as what people are fearing.
One good thing, not good thing. God, this isn't that, but a silver lining, I guess, so to speak, is that Van de Ven has great positioning, especially for how young and inexperienced relatively that he is. In addition to his pace, he's not just pace. He's not, you know what I mean. He's not like a blockhead with fast legs. Like he's, you know what I mean. He's a smart, intelligent defender. So even if he loses a bit of pace throughout all this, or can't push himself to the limits that he has been, he can still be a good defender, I think. And he can afford, if anyone can afford to lose a bit of speed, it's him, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then you've got Adrian saying Dyer made 3 clearances against Chelsea, but he is reactive, not proactive. Yep, correct.
100%.
And Daniel Lee says, I'm really starting to panic now.
Now it's Spurs. Now we're Spurs fans. Now it's a Spurs season. You got to have that panic, that fear, that dread. It was going too well. But his pace is excellent. Wah, crying. Yeah, I mean, and it still will be. I mean, even if he has to slow it down a bit just to make sure he doesn't push himself too hard in the future, I still think he's faster than most strikers. So.
Yeah, I mean, and then your mum's saying, but he has pace. His pace is excellent. Wow. And then Adrian's just reminding us that hamstrings are a group of 3 muscles that run along the back of your thigh from your hip to just below your knee. And at the end of the day, Danny, the only thing I can say is, listen, we knew what I'd done. I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again. We knew what our 25 players or what our squad is for this until at least January. So whether you've got suspensions, whether you've got injuries or whatever, we need to play with what we've got. It's the same as every other team. We can't do anything. We can't change it till January. If we change it in January, we can only change it by 3. So you can only change your players by 3. So you got to get 3. You can change 3 out and 3 in, so to speak. The under 21, so if you buy people that are 21 or under, they won't count to your 25 quota. So I don't know how we'll be affected like that. But, at the end of the day, we are where we are. We were discussing earlier that the fact that Veliz and Phillips weren't in the squad yesterday. They were pulled out of the under 21s game yesterday, which kind of aligns because we lost Richarlison now to an operation. So he's going to be out. And that means that we've got... so that means that we think that Phillips and Veliz will be in the squad. We then also discussed earlier on in the show that if we've got 2 goalkeepers, one starting and one on the subs bench, then there could be room to also. This is providing that Maddison is fit and not injured, and that Ben Davies is still out. Then we've got room on the bench possibly for Jamie Donnelly, but then we would be short on defenders. So I don't know. There could be call-ups for Dorrington and God, the name escaped. His name on the tip of my tongue.
Donnelly. No, wait, no. Sorry, no. The you're talking about the wide player, the wide back.
The one that's playing. He played centre half last night. He's playing left back.
It usually is. Yeah. Why can't I think of his name either?
Charlie Sayers.
Somebody.
So there could be room with Charlie Sayers and Dorrington along the bench as well. Because if Ben Davies is injured, right, then if Ben Davies is injured, that means we'd have no cover for our fullbacks. So if you wanted to have cover for our fullbacks, we were just saying that Charlie Sayers could be an option to bring up as well. So it remains to be seen. It's all dependent on what Aim sees on that training pitch. But I think we will have some young uns for definite on the bench on Saturday.
I real quick, I wanted to bring up. Sorry, I didn't mean to just jump from one thing to the other like that. But Dan Boy, his comment was interesting because it's something that you had kind of we talked about indirectly. Dan Boy is telling us that he's heard that VDV had a hamstring injury like this in Wolfsburg, and that he's obviously come back from that and has been strong and fast and so hopefully, like you said, we don't want this to become a recurring thing, obviously, and it sort of too, I guess, is recurring, but the fact that he was able to recover and come back strong from that one gives me hope that hopefully he can do the same here.
Right. So Dan boy, yeah, I didn't realise he's been injured before, but once you get, I know that sports science has improved, but I was saying yesterday that once you get a hamstring, they seem to come back, and they may not curtail your career like they did for someone like Michael Owen. But once he got his first one, he just kept getting them and getting them, and in the end, Michael Owen became a shadow of the player that he was. Still carved the living out. Still went to Real Madrid with all the hamstrings issues he had. Still went to Newcastle with all the hamstring issues, and still went to Man United with all the hamstring issues that he was having. But he never looked like the player that started out as an 18-year-old once he got the injuries. So I'd say from 18 to 25, he looked the one type of player, and from 25 to 32. So it's a period of 7 years either side of 25. He looked totally different because of the hamstrings. Now, I know that hamstrings have got, all the sports science has got better, but I really fear for people that get hamstrings because I just tend to think that they keep coming back. So,
yeah.
Then your mum's saying so he can cover ground quickly even if his pace suffers.
Oh, she meant because of his long legs. She had a problem in there about him being long-legged. Yeah, sure.
Danny's saying, let's be honest, we will do well to get 4 points out of the next 3 games.
Oh, come on, Dan. I mean, maybe you're right. I'm a glass mostly full kind of guy.
I think the way that we've all got to look at it, guys, right, is, and Postecoglou even alluded to this in his interview, and that is that you're going to get what you're going to get. Postecoglou wants to play the style of football, which is front foot, pressing, high, pressing the whole game, and he wants to play that football. We haven't mastered it yet. We've seen glimpses of it in every game, but we haven't mastered it. Mastered it to me means that you do it for the whole game. That means that your 11 starting players and your 5 substitutes that you can have in a game, all 16 do that for you throughout a 90-minute game. We haven't seen it. But so therefore, all the training that's happening on the training pitch is to play this style of football and play this way, regardless of who the personnel is. So whatever happens is going to happen, and we'll end up playing that way, regardless of who we select in whatever position at the back. I mean, it goes without saying, when he turned around in the interview and he said, "Look, mate," it goes, "We'll give it a go when we have 5.
Yeah, I like that too.
At the end of the day, it's telling you what we're going to be doing and what we're going to be. So Daniel is talking about free agents.
I put a list that I found online down there further in the comments. There are some on there, but none of them.
And Daniel, Wayne Bonner's saying, yeah, is there any free agents out there? Wayne Bonner says there's got to be someone free. Sorry, Daniel, he then says there's got to be someone free. Your mum says, oh, that previous injury makes him more susceptible.
Yeah.
Could be. And this is what I was saying.
Right.
Colin, you've put up a transfer market of people that are out of contract. The summer coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I think they were talking about is free agents who are free agents now, whose contracts run out this summer, just gone.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
I would have thought if there were any free agents out there that were any good, we would already, or not just ourselves, but we would have heard others going in for these free agents. So I might put it up in a second to have a look, but I'm not aware of any out there at the moment. And that's you.
Yeah, that's me.
That. Yeah, and then you've got hamstring issues for Owen happened at the 2006 World Cup. He was already at Real Madrid by that time. Madrid will not sign a guy who is half a crock. The only one they did before Real Madrid was R9. So they signed Ronaldo as half a crock, and he was a superstar player. And this is a Brazilian Ronaldo. This is the original R9.
The real Ronaldo.
The real 9, the real Brazil 9.
Yeah. The Ronaldo I prefer. But guys, Jose, I know that time is not something that you have an abundance of. Do you have time for one quick?
Yeah, I've got time. Go on.
All right, everybody, you know what time it is. It is time for the internet's favorite game show, Keep or West Ham. Everyone, hello. You were already here, but thanks for joining us for today's edition of Keep or West Ham. This is one where I'm going to need the help of maybe some people in the chat. My co-host here, Jose. I'll go ahead and throw it up for you guys if you're ready. In 3, 2, 1. We got Aaron Lennon versus Chris Waddle. And I don't know enough about Chris Waddle to accurately answer this one, to be honest. But I was hoping that Jose could give me I didn't pick. I tried hard without knowing enough to get two players that were similar in skill level, and what they were able to contribute to the team. Waddle might be better, I think, but anyway, I'll gladly go with what the comments have to say. What you got to say. Wayne Bonner's already here saying keep Waddle. I think I made this one too easy. I think Waddle's a better player.
For me, I mean, I'm going to see what the chat say, but for me, there's only one player there. Yeah, there's only one player that you keep there.
Yeah, well, you see the shirt that he's wearing. Aaron Lennon didn't wear that shirt many times. And I mean, I'm sure he got a call up, but he wasn't exactly pictured in that shirt many times. So that's one thing that Waddle's got going for him. Daniel E said, "I like Lennon, but that's not tough." Waddle, of course. Tottenham Josh, what's up, dog? Says Aaron Lennon. Wow, in my opinion, such a great winger. Just thought he could probably have given us a bit more. Yeah, man, he had all the tools. I mean, his shot, it was decent at times. Actually, I was getting ready to say it wasn't great. I take it back. I mean, yeah, Aaron Lennon was the player that got me very he was the one that really sucked me in to Spurs. He was so much fun to watch. And at a time when I didn't have a whole a young kid's attention span. It's all about go fast, run fast, be fast. Like his speed was mesmerizing to me. Adrian Stroka, though, again, keep Chris Waddle, fantastic winger who could also go inside and out. A defender's nightmare. 2-footed, I guess. Yeah. Wow. So like if you had to put him on a level, was he as good as like Gaza?
Who's that? Waddle?
Yeah.
Waddle played with Gaza at Newcastle and at Tottenham. Yeah.
Okay.
Waddle played. Waddle was a left-footed winger, right? But with Waddle could go both ways. But Waddle would swap wings. Waddle wouldn't play just on one wing. He swap wings. Waddle could invert and come inside, or Waddle could go past the man as well. So Waddle could do both things. Waddle had an abundance of skill. He looked gangly because before Waddle was about 6'1" or something like that. So he looked gangly as well. But he dropped his shoulder and he sent people for hot dogs and he asked them, did they want ketchup or mustard with them or anything like that. So, at the end of the day, Waddle was absolutely brilliant. Waddle was a great footballer.
I like this comment from Jacob that Waddle looks like me, kind of. Thank you. He's got a lot more hair than I do, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Audio Artisan. I put this one up. One of England's most underrated players of all time, a true wing wizard.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you're here on the Top of the Ball channel,
Adrian has said it as well. Look, I didn't see this. I was talking about it and I didn't see it. Adrian has said, keep Chris Waddle, fantastic winger, go inside and out, a defender's nightmare.
Yeah.
Afternoon touch, Josh. He's saying,
what up, homie?
In my opinion, such a great winger. Just thought he could probably give us a bit more.
Yeah, and that was when I said that his shooting wasn't great, but then I remembered some shots. He's had a couple of nice goals where he really got something behind it, but yeah, it wasn't his strong suit.
Yeah, Colin, you were right. Don't take it back, mate. Lennon's final product was a massive weak point.
He would have been a scary player though if he could finish.
Or the artisan. Waddle was like Ginola, but not as fast.
Damn. All right, I did not put a good matchup here, but this has been a fun talk. I've learned a lot.
Says Waddle scored some screamers.
Well, I know what I've got going after this. YouTube.
No, Waddle was a magnificent player.
Yeah.
England were blessed back in the day. Underperforming England, as I used to call them. but they would play with Waddle down one side and Barnes down the other, even though they were both left footers. They used them both. So Barnes usually played the left, and Waddle usually played the right when they both started together. Although they were both left footers. But yeah,
interesting. But I guess since Waddle could kind of roam around and be equally as effective, from wherever.
He had a language style about him. You look at his body; he's such a tall fella. He had a language style, but he dropped his shoulder, and like I said, he'd serve you your hot dog or your burger and ask you what kind of sauce you wanted on top of it. He didn't even stop and put onions or sauerkraut, as you call it, onions or sauerkraut on it. He'd give you the whole works after he sent you,
Yeah, hey, I brought you this. I scored a goal, and then I got you this while I was over there. Yeah. He sounds like an awesome player and a fun one to watch. I love players that have kind of a weird movement style to them. Like that's why I love Tanji when he first came so much. Is just he had a real languid style of moving around, or he does. I guess he's still alive and playing. But you know what I mean. Just people who look interesting when they play. I like that. That they don't have like the typical running style or the typical. They don't look like your normal everyday athlete. I like it. It's kind of what Waddle sounds like to me.
So he was good.
Yeah. Well, see, then he beats Lennon out. And Aaron Lennon was, like I said, one of my all-time favorite Spurs. So I'll have to check Waddle out. Maybe I'll have me a new favorite. Daniel E saying, you see what Spurs fans moan about Kulu not running out of man. Complete opposite to Aaron Lennon. Might have lacked the end product, but every time he put the sprint on and took on his winger always. Yeah, he every single time. Always. Yeah, sometimes he gets to the byline and could he cross for shit or have a great shot? No, but he was this close to having it all put together. He really was. And then I think we also now know a lot about Aaron Lennon and his mental health problems. I wonder how much of that was an issue for him during his career also. There's obviously everybody struggles with things, but Aaron Lennon, thanks for being such a great servant to Spurs. Hope you are doing good, mate. If you're watching this, Aaron, I bet you are. We got 9 people watching on here. It says, and I bet you one of them is Aaron Lennon. Thanks for being here, Aaron Lennon. Shroka says that Waddle could turn on the afterburners as soon as he dropped that shoulder. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I didn't know from the sound of it he didn't have afterburners from what I was hearing from these guys, but maybe he did have a bit of pace he could pull out when he needed.
No, he had pace, all right. He listen, Waddle could go part. He just looked languid. He looked gangly and languid, but he'd skim people. He was a top footballer, Waddle. He was one of these players. I mean, obviously, you had some players in the 60s and some players in the 70s that probably went abroad to try and ply their careers abroad. But Wenger, I think Wenger was another one that took Waddle to Monaco.
Makes sense. Well. Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, these players, they've played abroad and that. He was a proper footballer, proper footballer.
That was at a time when not everybody would do that. Like you were alluding to, players were happy to stay in England and just play the game over here.
Yeah, he played at the time when you had at Newcastle when they had Peter Beardsley and Paul Gascoigne playing. Obviously, all 3 of them got a move because Gascoigne went to Tottenham, so did Waddle, and Beardsley went to Liverpool. So Newcastle had some players at the time, and these are 3 of their top Geordie boys at the time, and they were all sold to other clubs in the English First Division.
Man, I bet Newcastle laid an egg, man. Were the Newcastle fans just fucking furious? Sorry about my language, but I would.
Yeah, quite possibly. But Newcastle back then they weren't a big club in the sense of they were in positions finishing in the league. They weren't a big club like that. They are a big club because they represent a part of the country that they're probably the biggest club in that part of the country in the northeast. They've got a huge, massive stadium. They've got a massive local following in Newcastle and that. So in them purposes, they are a big club. But in league positions and league terms and trophies and that, they weren't a big club. So therefore, back then they were probably a club that needed to sell players in order to
sustain things,
sustain themselves and stuff like that back then, because there wasn't the kind of money back then as what you see now. So that's possibly why they had to sell players. But the Newcastle of now, if they had a Gascoigne,
no way they're getting rid of him.
If they had a Gascoigne, a Waddle, and a Beardsley, they're not selling them. Jimmy Nichols, yeah, you're quite right. I jumped the gun. It's Marseille. I got that wrong. It's Marseille, not Monaco. So you're quite right, Jimmy. Thank you for letting me know.
And thanks for joining in, Jimmy Nipples. How can you have a name like that and not announce yourself earlier? I just want to say Jimmy Nipples like 10 more times. That's a great name. Jimmy Nipples, Jimmy Nipples, Jimmy Nipples. Okay, I think I'm good. But great name, sir, and thank you for being here. And thank you for the correction. Now we are correct, and everyone in the world also is correct. 1 second. I have to run. Jose, I will be back in 2 seconds. I have to go open the door.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, as we were saying. Yeah, looking at the keeper West Ham, I think I didn't do this one personally. I think it's quite an easy one, and I can see why everybody has gone for Waddle near enough rather than Aaron Lennon. So, but there we go.
Yep. Well, everybody. Jose, I think that just about wraps it up. Everything that I had planned for today.
I think all we're waiting on, and I think I'm not the only one here. I think the whole support is waiting on this as well. All we're waiting on at the moment is to try and get some sort of an update on Mickey van der Ven.
Yeah.
And an update on Maddison. Maddison for me, I mean, I don't know if there's smoke screens and all that out there, but if
I think he's okay.
If Maddison's injured and has been playing with an injury, then to me, it depends on the severity of the injury and is he going to do more harm. It's interesting. Maddison's not finishing games off. He's not playing the full 90. So at the end of the day, if we've got a squad, like I said, the project we're on and what we're trying to do is a longer one, is a longer term one, and it's not short term. So if these players are not fit enough and they need time and they need rest and they need to do things, let's get this done with them while we can now and bring other players to fill the spots, and have these players for the long run. We want them for their longevity. We don't want them for the short time. So we're hoping that Maddison will be all right.
I'm thinking. I feel like Maddison came off because we needed more defensive stability. He was our most offensive midfielder, and then he's carrying a knock, so he was just it makes sense for him to come off. I don't really think there's anything more in it than that. But
he went down, Cole. He was injured. He went down.
Oh, he did.
He was on the floor. He was on the floor. He went down, so he was injured.
I just saw him looking kind of angry when he came off. So maybe he was angry that he got injured.
He was down on the floor. He was injured. They made an attack and he went down on the floor. He was injured.
Nice.
And then obviously Mickey van der Ven. We're all waiting to hear what's happening with Mickey van der Ven. Also, as well, in all honesty, we need to find out Ben Davies. Is there any updates on Ben Davies? Because Ben Davies was out. We're all presuming that he's going to be out for the Wolves game as well. The Wolves game wasn't discussed when all Anne said is that Davies is definitely out. That's all he said. So I guess the news, views and clues, we're not going to get anything. I think the presser for the game is on Friday now. And if that's the case, Friday, the first question that the presser, that Sky Sports asked at the presser of any presser is the injury updates. And that's when we'll find out more about these players. But yeah, and then also Sessegnon. Where is Sessegnon in his path to coming back? It's just to understand it so we all know, because we know certain players are definitely out, whether it be for injury or whether it be through suspensions. We know certain names of players that are going to be out, but it's just finding out where we stand with all the other players. So yeah, we need to find out about them 4 players. Some are more important to us than others.
But still, they might all have a role to play, even in the not so important ones.
That's correct. And Daniel Lee, it's exactly what I said earlier, mate. I said that the international break is probably going to help us out a bit as well.
Yeah, it's not the first time. We've gotten a little lucky with international breaks.
And Beyond 72 says he can't wait till Friday. I presume you're talking about the presser, mate, aren't you? So, yeah, we're all looking forward to the presser of Friday. But you know, we don't know before the presser. We might get information coming out about an update on Mickey van der Ven. We might do, might we?
Yeah, you're right. Some stuff could slip out. We might get some news leaked from around the club too, maybe. Yeah, I think it would be surprising if it took until Friday for us to hear anything about that injury, just with everybody wanting to know. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the match. I know that that's a long way away, it seems like, and there's everything's going wrong, but I still love watching the boys play, no matter who we're playing, no matter who lines up for us. As long as everybody goes out there, plays the ball, that Ange has been preaching and teaching, in practice, and then I think we're gonna be good. I think we'll be all right. Will it be pretty? Maybe not, but do we still have a chance of winning against Wolves? Absolutely, we do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At the end of the day, like as we said so far on this stream, it all comes down to what he's seeing and what he knows off the training pitch. Because on the training pitch, he'll get to see all these players. He knows what his players are about. He knows what he's got and stuff like that. So, and obviously he gets paid the big bucks, and he knows more than us because it's interesting that we look at let's go back to the game against Chelsea. A lot of people would have said, what's this team doing? Bunch of lunatics. They've got 9 men. 7 are on the halfway line. They're squeezing up. There's method behind the madness. He's got a plan. He knows what he's working on. He knows what he works with the players on. And yet we're all surprised. And so are other people. And they call him delusional. They call him mad. At the end of the day, he knows what's going on the training pitch. And he will pick. I'm sure that he's not moping about and saying, "Oh my God, we've lost." Blah blah. He's just okay. Another one door shuts, another door opens. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to set up for a game. We go for it. So at the end of the day, you know what, guys? I'm going to let you know nice and early now. I reckon that we may play our best game of the season so far against Wolves.
Dang, I think we're gonna win. I think a win is definitely looking is likely, but
and the reason why I say that is because our backs are firmly up against the wall. Our backs were firmly up against the wall before the season started because of the doom and gloom, but now our backs are up against the wall because of the suspensions and injuries that we have. And where one door closes and another one opens, there's people that are going to be itching like a bitch to be in that first team. There's people that are going to be itching like a bitch that they want to play non-stop. They want to be involved and play. So therefore, I can see players wanting to step up. That come into side that want to step up and retain places. There's competition now to retain places. So I have a feeling, and I'm going to say it now because I was going to leave it till Friday, but I have a feeling, without knowing anything more than what I know at this present moment in time, and that we've discussed today, I have a feeling that we will step up and play on Saturday, probably the best game we've played this season, and we're missing some crucial players.
I hope from your lips to God's ears, Jose. With that, I think we're winding down. I believe
we've got loads of comments here, so just carry on. You got comments?
Yeah. International break, November 18th, so 10 days away. Coming up. Adrian with the dates. We appreciate you, my guy. Adrian Stroka always in the house. Then we got Spurs Squad. What's up, Spurs Squad? Oh, I have bad news. Spurs Squad says another night shift. Headphones on. Lads all tuned in. UK. We appreciate you, man. We are actually getting ready to end. But if you do, you could just flip the video, start it over, and it'll be like hanging out with us from the beginning. And it's a great show, no matter what channel you're watching on, too. We are dual streaming this on LTEL Cockerel and Talking Ball. So if you get the chance, I know you're working, so maybe not right now, but if you could go to both channels and like and subscribe the video on both channels, if you could, that would just help us both out immensely. And just get the show out to more people, and help us create this big Spurs family we're trying to create. Jimmy Nipples says that maybe Romero deliberately got a red card so he gets a break before the Argentina game. I don't think that's the case, but yeah, like you're saying, just a theory. Theories, you can say anything in the theory, but I don't think that's the case. Do you think there's anything in this, Jose?
Nah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't either.
Nah.
I mean, he seems pretty committed to Spurs this season.
Not for me.
Yeah, he seems pretty committed to Spurs and Ange and the project, and so I don't think he's going to go anywhere. And then Daniel E saying, I know one thing, without Romero and Van der Ven, I'm petrified for that Man City game. It's going to be peak. Yeah, that's going to be the rough one.
Do you know what? Listen. Doesn't matter who you play, right? And who you put in your team, right? It doesn't matter what team you are. Man City or Man City, right? Man City for a long time now, people set up in certain ways defensively, and people don't want to go and because they fear of getting spanked and stuff like that, and people set up and frustrate Man City, yeah. And at the end of the day, Man City, are they pumping teams 6 and 7-0 every week? No, I don't see them pumping everyone 6 or 7s every week. They get results. A lot of their games have been 2-1 wins, 1-0 victories, stuff like that. They haven't been pumping teams, so therefore, with the fact that they're not pumping teams, I'm not too scared, to be honest.
Dang, Brian McGuire is in the house. What is up, Brian? Brian saying Romero's a liability. He has previous red cards. Yeah, I mean he's a bit of a wild man, and we all know that. I think we've got to either love that about him or hate it about him all the time. We can't love it when it works and then hate it whenever it goes wrong. You know what I mean? We've got to know that if he's going to be making these types of tackles and he's going to be playing this way, that this is a possibility. It happened. And I also think that it's some of the same things that people love about him is his wildness, is that hot streak, that meanness, that bite, and eventually and occasionally that's gonna bite him in the ass.
To me, I'm trying to look it up. Let me just look it up quickly so I can just finish up what I was saying. I just need to see, because I might be talking pie in the sky.
Yeah.
And it could well be pie in the sky, but I'm not sure.
Brian says,
I know they've lost twice this season in the league.
Yeah.
Right. Matches. All right. Start of the season was 11th of August. Would that be the start of the season?
Sounds correct.
Okay, so they beat Burnley away 3-0, but Burnley had gone down, had a red card.
Yep.
They beat Sheffield United 2-1. They beat Newcastle 1-0. They pumped Fulham 5-1. They beat West Ham 3-1. They've beaten Forest 2-0. Wolves have beaten them 2-1. Arsenal have beaten them 1-0. They beat Brighton 2-1. They beat Man City 3-0, and they beat Bournemouth 6-1. But they're not pumping. They're not walking out in games and being, smashing teams up. So therefore, and we're going to be playing different against them.
Oh, yeah.
Postecoglou is going to play the same way he wants to play. That's the way he's going to play. And, at the end of the day, we'll wait and see. We'll see what happens. But to me,
I think this is going to galvanize the players. I think that this adversity that will bring them closer together. Did you see how fired up Porro was during that match? How he was getting the fans pumped up, and he was. I don't know. I think Porro is going to be an important player throughout all this.
I think it's not just Porro. I just think everybody's going to be coming together. Even the players that come in, the young'uns that come in, they're going to be galvanised. The young'uns that come in, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, they're going to be galvanised. It's as simple as that. They're going to be galvanised.
100%.
And they're going to want to come. They're going to want to play. They're going to want to improve. and they're going to want to play week in, week out. Who doesn't want to play for Ange Postecoglou? Let's be honest. And that's the way we've got to look at it. People are going to want to play for Ange Postecoglou.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, this is what will happen because they want to play for Ange Postecoglou. So, yeah, it is what it is. But, we go and we come again. Let's look forward to hopefully having the news that we want, which is a good news, or as best as it can be.
Right. For Mickey.
Whether that comes in tonight or whether we hear that news tomorrow, we'll talk about it once we hear about it. And worst case scenario, we're on Friday again. And if the news comes out in the presser on Friday instead, then we'll wait for the news to come out in the presser. And then on Friday's show, we can discuss
predictions. And then we get our predictions.
And then we've got the predictions for the weekend. So, yeah, it'll synergy. It all goes hand in hand.
And then I never got to. We'll do this tomorrow. I went to a soccer match yesterday. My local team, Nashville SC, played a cup match and a playoff match against Orlando, and we lost. But yeah, I mean it was fun, and I've got some videos and stuff. I'll share those. Show you guys a bit what it's like. An American soccer match. But yeah, we could waste 5 minutes or so doing that tomorrow. That could be fun.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it is, it will be just waiting on the news, won't it? So, but as I said, the work for Saturday's game has already begun. It began the minute that game finished against Chelsea. So, at the end of the day, we will know more. But we've already started. It's already started up. So
definitely, and the boss. The boss has a plan. The boss has a plan. He's already talked to the players. I'm sure that he's going to be counting on. Let them know what's up, and let them know not to worry. I think that he's not the type to get overly shaken. To to be all worried about things. He'll be totally fine. Totally fine. And everybody, please subscribe to Jose's personal channel right there, El Tal Cockerel. And then also the channel here that we're on too, Talking Ball, the channel that we co-host. Please subscribe to both. Hit the like on both. If you could, please do so. And then I wanted to big up our Patreon members, Chris Peters, Wayne Bonner, Soji for God, Mia W., and then Queen Ellie, and I thought I added Adrian Sroka in there too. Let me get that.
There. Yeah, he's there.
Oh, okay, he's there. Awesome.
The ticker tape going along the bottom.
Oh, okay, great. And Adrian Sroka too. Thank you guys all so much. Truly, you help me more than you know. If you do want to subscribe to that Patreon, check out there's different memberships. There is the link right there. And guys, yeah, it's just totally. You definitely don't have to do it at all. But if you feel like it, by all means. So
sorry, just saying that for the time being, we'll be simultaneously streaming from both channels. So it's Talk and Ball here, because although I've now become Talk and Ball, I did have my own channel before, so I'm trying to grow that anyway, just in case in the background. So we'll always be combining both channels at the same time. So the links, what would help is if you're watching this on Talk and Ball, or you're watching this on El Tal Cockerel, is to like and sub to both channels simultaneously to help both of us grow our numbers, so to speak. At the end of the day, we can't do anything more than have you guys, because you guys make our shows. You guys are the important people. You guys are the ones that give us the comments that we read out. You're the guys that ask us the questions, and that's what keeps us going. Otherwise, we can come on here and we can have a chat between Colin and myself and just have you guys watching it. It'd be really boring, and that's why we want your take on things. We want you to engage with us, and yeah, it's much appreciated.
Truly appreciate it, guys,
for continuing to watch us and for continuing to get involved.
Yep, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. Everybody in the chat, we love you. We're a big family in here. That's what this has all been about from the beginning, is bringing Spurs fans together, giving them a place to get their voice out. And so, yeah, that's like Jose was saying, we'll do our best to read all comments. get through everything. And yeah, that's just part of the show. Mr. Oh, I almost said Mr. K. Bobby K. Sorry, Colin posted the goods. Oh, no worries. Times we'll talk.
We're not worried. We're not worried at all that you're not streaming, because we normally go on at 4 o'clock every.
Yeah, whatever's best for you guys.
So.
Whatever. Yeah, you do whatever you got. You know what I mean. Work around your schedule. Make sure that it works for you. Don't worry about us. Everybody's good.
For City, I would accidentally put Harry Kane on the team sheet to freak out Pep, play Conte ball in the first half to throw them off, then come out all guns blazing in the second half. Lol. Fantastic.
That would be
and Adrian made a comment again about Cáceres. And Paulio 25 has said, good, that would be good, Adrian. So, but with that, like we said our thank yous and that. We've got to dive. We've got to get away. We've got other commitments today. So the show's only an hour and a half. It's gone on an hour and a half already.
So nice work, though. I mean, I think it was a good show. I hope everybody had fun. And I mean, as usual, I think we've made it a thing now. Should we close it out with a little bit of James?
Yeah, go on then.
All right. Okay, here we go. In 3, 2. Oh, well, bye everyone. Thanks again.
Yeah, bye. Thank you, everyone. See you all tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Come on, you Spurs. Nope, sorry. You were going to say something. I cut it off.
In Ange we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
In Ange we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.